Welcome to another episode of the Nearshore Cafe podcast. I'm your host, Brian Samson, and this is the show where we talk about the stories and people doing business in Latin America. Today's really interesting. It's a show about a long career, seasoned tech entrepreneur. He's got an AI company, and we don't talk about this a lot, but how to sell to the LATAM region. In this particular case, it's going to be Mexico. So we'll get into that. Before we start, let me thank our sponsor, Plug Technologies, plugg.tech. Great way to connect talent from all over Latin America with growing U.S. companies. Let me welcome our guest, Oleg Baranov, the founder and CEO of FlameTree AI. It's so great to have you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you here.
So Oleg, I'm just gonna share your bio for a second with our audience because I think it's a really impressive bio. So in addition to FlameTree, serial tech entrepreneur, venture investor, you've worked in the banking and fintech sectors, 20 years on the software space, a lot of work with complex business applications with banks, and you're a hands-on guy, I can tell. I believe you like to get your hands dirty into the tech. And in addition to that, some really impressive institutions you've attended, Stanford and Harvard. So really excited to have you. I would love to just kind of set the scene. Tell us a little more about, where you grew up and your career journey.
Thank you. I'm in business already about 30 years, and my major part of this journey, I am acting as an entrepreneur. I managed to start several startups and businesses successfully. My first startup was internal startup when I worked in a software company. It was development of a new generation of core banking system. Our target audience was CIS countries. We started this software platform develop it from scratch with very small team, like five persons. I was young and a bit ambitious, and it was successful internal startup. We managed to create this software. It's full-scale core banking system. We managed to sell 400 copies for 12
Wow.
years. It's okay. And as I had a stock option in my first company, I got paid in the end of this story and this journey. And using this money, really what I did in 2005, I started my first my own company with my partners, of course. But I was a founder and CEO of this company. It was another idea. We believed in this moment after more than 10 years working for a software development company. We believed that professional services, consultancy, it's very interesting area, very interesting topic. And we started a company focused on custom software development for banks. Of course, because at the moment we had relations, we had expertise, and it was a very difficult moment in my life. It was again from scratch, second time. But in this case, I didn't have like big company which could help me. First year was very difficult period of time. We approached banks, people we worked before. Unfortunately, many of them did not decide to take risk, and it's always for such undertaking. It was very difficult to find first customers, but we managed to do this, and finally this company became not very big, but rather big. When I exited, it was 1,500 engineers.
Wow,
So,
incredible.
and we started it without any external funding from scratch with a team of just nine individuals.
Please go more into details here because it's not every day we talk to
Yes.
people that can go,
Finally, we had.
and
Sorry.
yeah, I was gonna say it's not every day we talk to people that have gone from, 9 to 1,500. Myself, I've gotten stuck around the 100 mark a couple times in my career. I can't seem to get past it. So I would just like to learn from you, and I'm sure our audience will. Tell us more about just the building of that company. That sounds amazing.
Thank you, thank you. So finally, I got two different experiences. First is like out of the box software development, and the second it's like building of IT professional services company focused on custom software development. But in both cases, it's software development, and in both cases, we, especially in my second business, we had a lot of AI related, machine learning related project, especially in the area of banking risk management. So we use machine learning models and train machine learning models starting from 2005. And that's why when I started my next company, it was 2022, less than 4 years ago, with headquarters in Cyprus. We initially decided to more or less repeat, but on a different market, the
Yeah.
idea of our previous company. And we try to build one more IT professional services firm. But frankly speaking, mm, it grew, but not very fast, not fast enough. And 1 year later, in the summer of 2023, when large language models appeared and became like available, we come up to the idea to build agentic AI platform, which now called
Yeah.
FlameTree AI.
Yeah.
Was we were not very first guys who decided to do this, but anyway, it was more than 2.5 years ago,
Yeah.
and we invested a lot in this platform during this period of time, and hope what we have now and what we continue developing now. It's interesting product. At least we have customers, we have paying customers, we have customers among banks and financial industry, and I believe we have good perspectives.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to dive deeper into FlameTree, but I don't want to overlook your career right before. What are some of the key lessons that you learned from before FlameTree about building companies?
It was many lessons really. We did a lot of mistakes,
Yeah.
but of course, what I think now, of course, the core of any such undertaking, it's the team.
Yeah.
It's a team. It's people, not only their knowledge, not only their expertise, but their attitude, your relations inside the team. Because you can't do anything new using like standard management approach, using KPIs or just giving directions. It should be common shared idea, and only in this case you can really achieve anything serious, especially in difficult times. Because for sure, at least in my experience, in any projects in any company I started, of course we had difficult moments
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
everything looked like crazy, and only support of my team and support of each other could help in such situations. From my perspective, it's very important. And the second thing I would like to mention, you mentioned that I had a couple of educations. Really, I try to, maybe I'm so-called lifetime learner, or I graduated like 4 universities, and I try to every year or at least once in a couple of years to participate in any new educational program. For example, during last 4 years, I took courses in best universities. For example, in Barclays, I took a program regarding venture capital. In IMD, I took a joint program with IMD and MIT
Hmm.
regarding disruptive innovations. Of course, bigger programs about finance, general management, corporate governance. So the second idea for me, it's education and constant participation in this educational process, not only for myself, but of course for my team members.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you learn agentic AI?
As I mentioned in my previous company, were involved in ML and AI projects for risk management. Two areas, it's credit scoring and all related with lending. And second, we developed models for regulatory reporting according to standards like IFRS, Basel, and so on.
Hmm.
So my team had data scientists already, and we had experience with models of like previous generations. So that's why when LLM appeared,
Hmm.
it was not very difficult for us to notice this in time. and start using them widely in our projects, not only in FlameTree, but in other projects, because we still have like professional services, like branch of our company, which continue provide like
Yeah.
key professional services for banks.
Yeah. And before we get into FlameTree, just your past, were there certain countries or places that you had most of your engineers working?
Sorry, say it louder, please.
Yeah, where were your engineers? Which countries were your engineers in?
Ah, our main office in Cyprus, but we have a couple more. We have Dubai, have Johannesburg, South Africa, have Serbia and Armenia, two countries where we have like engineers with CIS background and
Yeah,
roots.
okay. Okay, good, good. And then with FlameTree, that are your engineers in all those countries too, or where have you decided to put your technical team for FlameTree?
Core team for FlameTree is on Cyprus.
Cyprus,
Myself
okay.
and chief architect,
Got it.
my product owner of FlameTree. So core team on Cyprus, but we have some engineers in our other offices. We don't have office in LATAM yet, but we're
Yeah,
seriously thinking about this, and I believe this is like a next step for us.
good, good. Got it. All right, so let's talk more about FlameTree. Tell us more about your vision for FlameTree and the ideal customer.
As I mentioned, our background in banking automation. So
Mhm.
that's why when we started this project, this platform, initial idea was to create a platform to automate customer service for banks, for retail banks mainly. And we thought about conversational AI agents. So to substitute call centers employees, to substitute legacy chatbots, which inconvenient with like you need to choose a lot of options before you understand that you really can't get the information you need and you can't be served. So it was initial idea, and because large language models can understand natural language, I'm up to the very simple, obvious idea right now that such agents, AI agents, can help banks in two ways. They can make their customers more happy, and
Mhm.
it's important. I believe all of us have like bad experience in some retail businesses, not only banks. It could be like telecom operator, airline, when you need to solve any urgent issue and you're waiting in the queue or you're chatting with like not very clever chatbot, or the employee on the other side can't answer your question because it simply didn't know or can't understand situation. Because you understand that in call centers of bigger companies, not only banks, maybe not best people with not enough sometimes knowledge, sometimes not enough motivation to help you. AI agents from that perspective have a lot of advantages. They can work 24/7,
Mm.
became tired or frustrated or angry. And another important thing, they can't leave the company with some knowledge and experience, and they learn on each iteration. Because
Yeah,
the idea of such platforms like Flame, for now, I believe not all people understand this. It's impossible from my perspective to buy a ready AI agent for a particular business, or it's impossible to develop or train it at once. Really, it's a
yeah.
process of constant improvement. It's like with real human. If you hire junior specialist, you need to explain him what to do. And
Right,
after
right.
that, he is learning. He do mistakes. He does mistakes. And with each iteration, each and every iteration, he became better. The same story with AI agents. That's why one core idea of FlameTree, it's not just we can give you AI agent which can solve your problems. We
Mhm.
provide a technology, a platform which allows to organize continuous improvement of AI agents. So we have special tools, special modules to analyze all conversations, all outcomes, all results every day, and to get data for AI agent improvement. It's, by the way, one of the maybe not so obvious thing even now. If you go to the internet or any like trade show, you easily find like dozens of AI agents offering companies who offer AI agents, platforms, and so on. But I just come yesterday from Web Summit from Qatar. You know, it's like a big conference.
Of course, yeah.
It was, if I remember correctly, 1,500 startups on this event. And I'm not sure, but at least several hundreds worked in the area of agentic AI platforms. What I can say, not all of them at least, or maybe even it's a rather rare situation where they speak about this vicious cycle of constant agent improvement. People try to offer like a ready solution. For me, it's possible for very simple business, a very standard business. If you have 2 restaurants, maybe you can develop an agent for one restaurant and offer it to the second one. It could be maybe okay. But if this is a bank, regarding our functionality, of course, currently we have, I can give you an example. One bank, one our customer use 5 different AI agents developed based on FlameTree platform for customer service, for debt collection, for customer onboarding, for cross-sell, upsell, and so on. So, and of course, such agents can be specially trained, set up, integrated with different backend systems to be able to perform particular task in particular situations. Of course, I believe it's relevant to mention a couple of technical things. Our platform is LLM agnostic, so we don't try our own large language model because it's like very serious and expensive business. And I believe that companies like OpenAI and Meta and other giants can do this very good. And we do not compete with them. We can connect any LLM from privately or publicly served to any of our AI agent. Moreover, if tomorrow, I don't know, one of these big techs release new version of LLM better than previous one, we can easily substitute it, change it just in like 10 minutes. So our customers can use best of breed LLMs, but our platform just help to organize relevant workflows, relevant integrations with channels. Of course, we support different channels, starting from all messengers, telephone calls, emails. Our agents typically integrated into web or mobile application of the bank. By the way, it's an interesting story. Now we have not only banks as customers, we managed to get some interesting customers from different industries because technically our platform industry agnostic, not only LLM agnostic. As I mentioned, we cover different business cases. We call it inbound and outbound. Like typical example of customers inbound AI agent is customer service AI agent when customer asks questions and we just need to answer questions. And outbound cases, the best example is debt collection when we need to outreach client to remind him, for example, that it's time to pay his debt, to ask to get agreement to pay, and so on.
Yeah. If I could shift gears for a second, Oleg, and focus more on Latin America for a few minutes. So tell us more about doing business in Latin America. I think you said Mexico is where you've started first in selling your product. What's that been like? How did you decide on Mexico? How is selling to Mexico different from selling to other countries and other buyers?
It's a funny story, really. At first, I would like to start that, as I mentioned, initially our focus was in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Really, it was opportunity. It was not strategy. The person who worked with us in his previous company joined Mexican microfinance company, like it's like a bank, monoliner bank, and invited us. And so as I mentioned, as I said, it wasn't strategy, it was opportunity. We of course decided to take this project. Hopefully we had a couple of people who speak Spanish, who hablo español. By the way, myself, I'm not very good in Espanol, but I used to live in Spain and more or less understand and can write in Spanish and Espanol. And we had, as I mentioned, some customers in Angola, in Portuguese-speak countries. So we have some people who have Espanol as a native language.
Sure.
So finally, we started this project, and it was rather successful. And in a couple of months, really, maybe 3 or 4 months just after starting, we were recommended to another Mexican microfinance company by the people who worked with us in the first one. So we got second Mexican bank. And again, it was opportunity. It was not strategy. The third step was more or less similar. Chief marketing officer of one of these banks left his organization and joined another company. In this case, it was not a bank. It was a company which sell cars and motorcycles. And in 2 or 3 weeks after joining this new company, he called me and said, Oleg, we need your AI agents to improve sales of our products. Can you do this? We are not a bank. And I said, I don't know because I don't know your business. But let's try. You may believe me or not, but in just 3 or 4 weeks, the first AI agent for this company have been launched successfully, and it started to provide 700 conversations daily with potential clients. And I believe it was one of the fastest implementation of FlameTree. And so next step was again very, very not similar, but opportunistic. So we use partner models in our business. So how to do sell FlameTree? Of course, we have some our own sales forces, but we have partners besides that. And these partners are typically IT professional services companies or software companies. And one of our partners invite us to some tender for 2 banks, one in Guyana and the second one in Belize. So it's countries in Caribbean region.
Okay.
I never been in any of them. And so after that fact, we decided that we need to create strategy for LATAM, for Latin America. And what we are going to do, most likely we will open an office in Mexico this year, and we'll create some special strategy for this market.
Yeah. Amazing. I love that. I love that. That's a very interesting story. And, I've been spending a lot more time in Mexico myself, and it's a unique place. And I think it's important, as we talk about on this podcast a lot, that Latin America is a unique place, but it's not all one way. Even though Spanish is the common language amongst most of the countries, it's just a very Mexico is its own special country. Well, I want to start wrapping up here, Oleg. As we get close to time, this has been really, really interesting to have such a globally successful entrepreneur as you. You were the first person we've had on the show that's in Cyprus, so that's exciting. And we like the agentic AI platform, FlameTree AI. I think that's going to be really exciting to watch. We'll be cheering for you and all your success. So thank you again for coming on the show on the Nearshore Cafe podcast. Again, we're sponsored by Plug Technologies, plugg.tech. And Oleg, if anyone wants to reach you, what's the best way to do that?
My LinkedIn, I believe it's the easiest way, but of course I can share my
Sure.
email. You have it. I
Sure.
will be
Yeah. We'll
happy
drop
if you. Yes.
everything in the show notes for people to find you. So that's all we have today. Thank you again for listening to the Nearshore Cafe podcast. Thanks again to Oleg and our sponsor, and we will see you again next time.
Muchas gracias, Brian.